Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky. I am the owner of Quality Business Plan, and what I'm going to do is show y'all how to create a financial projection in Excel. And this is great for small business owners that are looking to create a business plan and not sure where to start with the financials. And when I do my financial projections, the first thing I always start with is daily sales and daily costs, and then I'll build into monthly projections. And from there, we can bring it out to a 12-month profit and loss projection. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And so the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to start, like I said, with our daily sales. And so I'll put daily sales. And next thing what we're going to do is we're going to have some products. So, obviously we're going to be selling some stuff. So we're going to put products, and we'll put product 1, and then what we'll do is we'll put product 2. And then from there, I'm going to put another line in here. So we'll have daily sales right here, and then we'll have product 1 and product 2. And the first thing what we need to do is we need to identify how many products we're going to sell on a daily basis. So we'll just put number. And next thing we need to find out is going to be the price. From there, we need to know our variable cost or our material cost. And that is, again, is for each product sold. And the next column is going to be total revenue. And then we'll put total cost here. And then we'll figure out what our profit's going to be for a daily basis. All right, so once we have this format set up, we can make it prettier. All right, and so we're just going to go, for right now, we're going to sell just one item today. And the price of the item is going to be $10. And material costs are going to be $5. And here's where we start putting some of our numbers together. So to come up with revenues, we're just going to hit the equal sign. We're going to take the number of items sold, and we're going to multiply that by our price. Hit the tab. And we're going to do a similar action for total cost. So we're going to take the number of items sold, and we're going to multiply that by our material cost. Whoops. So we'll put the number of items sold, and we're going to multiply that by our material cost. All right. And so the final step to get the profit is just going to be to take our total revenues, and we're going to subtract that from our total cost. Hit enter. And so now what we've got is we've got our profit for this one product. And this template right here, I'm just going to go for 2 products, but you can take this to as many products as you like. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of the numbers that we have, and we're just going to drop it down 1. And so now all of our calculations have been brought down. And so we can go through now and just change some of these items right here. And once we do that, our profits will change. The final column is going to be total cost, or just total. And here we're just going to start adding some stuff up. So we're going to put our little accounting line here, double line, and we just want to start adding everything up. And this is going to be, depending on a column, for like right here, it's going to be total numbers, total items sold for the day, and the price. And we have total cost for the day, and we have total revenues, total cost, and then we also have our profits there. And the profit, this and this we really don't need. All right, so we've kind of got our daily sales all lined up. So now the next step for doing a projection is to make it look pretty. And to do that, we're going to highlight these columns right here. We're going to merge them together, and we'll turn all the column headings, we'll turn them yellow. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bold it, and then we'll put a box around it. Next thing we're going to do is all of our headers, we're going to make those bold, and we're going to center them up. And then same thing for our role titles, make them bold. And then the final step is going to turn these into dollars. And then here's our dollars as well. All right, so now we've got our daily sales all lined up, and we're going to change this number around here, right here. We're going to make our number of sales, we're going to turn that to 100 instead of 1. And so now we've got a profit of $1,000, and so we can see how everything's rolling over. Excuse me. Next thing what we're going to do is we need to figure out what the labor is going to be. So our labor, so we're going to title this labor. And then we're going to title this column right here employee. This column we're going to do rate. That's going to be what they get paid. This is how many hours they're going to work in a day. And this will be their total pay. And then we're going to put employee 1 and then employee 2. All right, so now we've got our employees here, and first thing we need to do is we need to figure out how much we're going to pay them. So we're going to say we're going to pay them $10 an hour, and they're going to work 8 hours a day. And once we get that, all we're going to do is take the rate, how much we pay them, and we're going to multiply that by how many hours they worked. So that's going to give us 80. And then I'm just going to highlight everything, grab the bottom right-hand corner and drop it down. And so now we've got 2 employees that worked 8 hours a day. And the final step is going to be, again, our total column. And for total, we're going to follow the same process we did up there. Do our little accounting line. And then what we want to do is we're going to add the hours paid. We're going to take this plus this. And then we're going to drag it over as well. And the final step, what we're going to do is we're going to change to dollars. What are dollars? And we do that by clicking the little dollar sign up top. And so now this tells us that for today, we've had 2 employees at $10 an hour, and they made $60 for us. Or we have to pay them $160. The final step is, again, making this look nice and pretty. Merge the cells, turn it yellow, bold it, and then we're going to highlight this, bold it, center it. And so now what we have here is we've got a nice looking labor. So this is our cost for labor. And the final thing what I'm going to do is I want to turn this bottom line blue, just so we know where our revenues are going to be and our costs are going to be. All right. So next thing, the final thing what we have for labor is management. So for management, I always put that in a separate cell, and we're going to say we're going to pay our managers $2,500. And now this right here is going to be a monthly cost. So now we're starting to get into the monthly stuff. And we'll make it a little bit prettier. Insert, drop it down, and we'll call this monthly information. All right, so we've got our, and we'll go ahead and merge this as well. So first thing, as we said, we did our daily information, and the next step is going to be to work into our monthly information now. So we've got our management fee, which is going to be $2,500, and just to save some typing, I'm going to pull over all the other fees that we're going to have on a monthly basis. So some of the other fees are going to be, we're going to have our rent, electric, cell phone or business phone. We have internet, water, insurance, accounting and legal, advertising, and then a catch-all other. And then this is going to give our month. Then at the end, we're going to get our monthly total. All right, and let's see here. So now I also want to get rid of these boxes that I carried over here. So we'll put no border. All right, so we've got, and I'm just going to estimate some cost just to give you all an idea. So we're going to go with $2,000 for rent. Electric will go 150, probably a little bit low, but still, this is just an example. Internet, we're going to go 150. Water will go 50. Insurance will go 150. And accounting, we are going to go 100. Advertising is going to be 250. And then other, we'll call it 300. And so at the bottom here, we're going to go ahead and put our double line again. Whoops. Put our double line up here. And then we want to add together all of our monthly costs. So we'll just go ahead and make a line here. Close the parenthesis, hit enter. And now what we have here is we have our monthly total. Next thing what we're going to do, actually for this right here, I don't want to include the management fee. I'm going to put that into a separate line. So I'm going to grab from rent down, close it up, hit enter. There we go. Because you'll see in a little bit why I don't want to include the management fee in this just yet. And before we leave this, we're going to make this again nice and pretty. We'll make the top of it yellow. And then the monthly total, we're going to turn this blue. All right, so now we got our monthly information. So next step now is we need to dive into our 12-month profit and loss statement. So I'll start with the title as usual, 12-month profit and loss statement. Another name for this might be 12-month cash flow or cash budget. All right. So next step, what we're going to do is now we're going to get into our projecting our daily and monthly sales, our daily sales and our monthly costs and our daily costs into a profit loss statement. And the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to start with our titles. And so we're going to just call this month 1. And then we'll hit tab. And then we'll do month 2. Whoops. And we'll hit enter. All right. And then what we'll do is we want this for 12 months. So we're going to grab this. We'll highlight, grab it to the bottom right. And we're going to pull out to 12 months. And so now we've got our 12 months, and just to make this a little bit nicer, we're also going to merge this cell, bold it, and turn it yellow. All right, so the next line, the first line we're going to start with is going to be growth. This is how much the sales are going to grow on a monthly basis. After that, we're going to put days in month. And we're just going to estimate for the next 12 months or all 30 days. But again, I'll show you all the cells you can change to make it look more fun, or to have it more functional for your business. The following line, what we're going to do is we're going to now do revenues. And then we'll do material cost. And then we'll do salary. And then we'll do labor. And then we'll do fixed cost. And then finally, we get to the coveted profit / loss. And for that right there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my accounting line here. All right. So once we get our format all nice and set up here, first thing what we need to do is we are going to we're going to fill in the days of the month. We're going to go 30 straight across. And I'll put an equal sign, hit enter, and then I'll just drag it straight across. So now we've got just 30 days. Just for convenience sake, we'll use that. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to take our revenues. So we're going to take our daily revenues, which is right here, and we're going to multiply that by 30 days. And then we're going to hit enter. And so that's going to give us a profit of $60,000. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to take our material cost, total cost, and we're going to multiply that by our 30 days. And then we're going to start dragging down, and we're just going to go straight down the line. We're going to go for the management, which is our salary. And then we're going to go into the labor. So we'll click here for the labor, and we're going to multiply that labor by 30. And then we're going to take our fixed cost, which is right here, and we'll hit enter. And that's kind of why I didn't want the management fee in with the monthly cost, because I've got it broken down separately in our 12-month profit and loss statement. So now we've got all our costs here, and we've got our revenues. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our revenues, and then we're going to back out our material costs, and then we're going to subtract our salary, then we're going to subtract our labor, and then we're going to subtract our fixed cost. So this, at this point right here, we now have our first month for our 12-month profit and loss statement. However, to figure out the next 11 months, we're going to have to do one more step. Well, actually, two more steps. The next step is going to be to project how much are we going to grow in sales for the next 12 months. So for convenience sake, we're going to say that our company is going to grow by 5% for the next 12 months. And we'll pull this across. There we go. So we're going to grow 5% for the next 12 months. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to take our sales or revenues, and we're going to multiply that by 1 plus the growth rate. Hit enter. And that gives us 63,000 in sales. Once we have that, we're going to click on our bottom right, and we're going to drag that line straight across. Then we are going to go up here, and we're going to change these to our numbers. All right, so at the end of the day, if our sales grow by 5% every month, we're going to have $102,000 in revenues. And now the next thing what we need to do is we need to figure out our cost. We need to figure out what our costs are going to be if our revenues continue to grow. Now there's a couple of costs that are not going to change, and the first one is going to be our salary. So we should have the same management salary regardless of sales. And so we're going to keep that, and we're going to pull that straight across. The next thing that shouldn't change is going to be our fixed cost. So we're going to put an equal sign, click our fixed cost, hit enter, and again, we're going to drag that across. So the only other things that we have right here are going to be our material costs and our labor. And we're going to use what's called a technique in finance is called common sizing. And so we'll say common size, hit enter, and then we're going to merge this. And we'll bold it again, turn it yellow. And we want to common size our material cost. And we also want to common size our labor too. So as our sales go up, then the material cost should go up as well. And as our sales go up, our labor cost should go up as well too. So in order to common size, what we're going to do, the first step is going to put is the equal sign. And then we're going to click on our material cost. And then we're going to hit we're going to divide. And then we are going to hit our revenues. We're going to do the same thing for labor. We're going to take the 4,800. We're going to divide that by our revenues. And then we're going to flip this into a percent, and we are going to give us a couple decimals. So what this is showing right here is that our material costs are approximately 50% of revenues, and our labor cost is approximately 8% of revenues. So now that we have these percentages, we're going to base our material cost and our labor cost on a percent of sales. And so I put the equal signs, and then I'm going to drag this straight across. And then the final step is going to be to hit the equal sign, hit the 63,000, hit the multiplication, and then hit the 50%, and then hit enter, and do the same thing for labor. Hit the equal sign, click on the 63,000, hit your multiplication, and then hit your 8%, and hit enter. Then the final step is going to, well, not the final step, but the next step is to drag it straight across. And so now we've got all of our material cost estimated, and we're going to do the same thing for labor. Drag it straight across, and now we've got all our labor. And the final step right here is to take our profit and loss, and we'll pull that straight across. And now we've got our profit and loss for the year, or a profit and loss for the next 12 months. All right, and just to finish this up, what I do is I make this nice and pretty, put a box around it, and the final step what we're going to do is I'm going to show y'all how we can adjust these numbers to kind of play with identifying what is the optimal price for this situation. So I start at the top, and we're going to turn all the numbers that we can change, we're going to turn those gray. And material costs we can change is gray. And so all the numbers that we can play with, so if we think our sales are going to be 150 instead of 100, then we'll change it there. And when we do that, then all of our profit and loss items right here change as well. And the next thing we can play around with is going to be the rate of pay and the hours. If we want to work them 9 hours, and then we just change it, and again, this information changes, and it shows us right here what happens to the profit and loss statement when those numbers change. The final numbers that we can change are going to be right here. Again, if your costs change, then you just come right up here to the template, change the cost, and your profit and loss statement changes. And then we're going to have growth rate. If you expect your growth rate to vary in 1 month to the next, then we do the same thing. And again, our sales change. And if we want to reduce it, same thing with that. Again, everything's going to roll over. And the final place that we can change our numbers is going to be the days of the month. All right, so hopefully everybody is kind of up to speed and sees how I build my financial models when I'm constructing my 12-month profit and loss statements. And we only use 2 products, a couple of employees, but we can really extend this to 10, 15, 20 products, 5, 10, 15 employees, and it's still going to give us a real good foundation to understand what our projections are going to be for the next 12 months. So hopefully everyone's benefited from this little tutorial on creating financial projections for a business plan using Excel. And my name is Paul Borosky, and I am the owner of QualityBusinessPlan.com. And if you all enjoyed this, please go ahead and give me a like on Facebook and also YouTube. Thank you.